Happy Saturday. Okay, if you are a SoFi shareholder, this video is going to be all about SoFi. I talk about SoFi on this channel a lot. This YouTube channel is not really intended to be like a SoFi only channel per se. By all means, I love talking about just the stock market in general. But there is a lot to go over, and I think we got to cover it for today because next week is going to be a roller coaster ride, not only for SoFi, but also the entire stock market as a whole. And oh man, I'm revved up. I can't wait, baby. Okay. You know, Saturday and Sunday are my least favorite days out of the week. I really just feel down and out of place when the stock market is closed. Like it doesn't make me feel happy. Do me a big favor if you can. Definitely smash the like button. It's completely free. If you want to see more of my content, feel free to subscribe here. I do make other YouTube videos on YouTube. I have not advertised this channel from my other YouTube channels as well. One of my YouTube channels has over 200,000 subscribers, but I want to build a very strong audience of stock-loving gurus on this channel before really advertising it to other people here. So, if you do, definitely drop a comment. More than likely, I'm going to see it, and definitely reply to it. And I appreciate all the new subs that we have gained on here. Once again, completely free to subscribe. We are on the road to over 100 now. And, yeah, like I said, I did not intend this channel to really be about SoFi, but I am a long-time SoFi shareholder. I've been buying SoFi since February of 2024, and I have a massive position on my private profile, my Robinhood account, and I have shares out of the wazoo. I have over 1,600 shares of SoFi, and initially my position was only going to be 1,500 shares. So why did I add 142 bonus shares? Because the stock continued to go down. The management team, Anthony Noto and his amazing management team, his CFO, CMO, etc., all his executives, they continued to put phenomenal numbers out, and the stock price continued to go down. Nobody wanted it back in 2024. Nobody wanted to touch it back in late 2024. Actually, it started to go on a rally then, but all throughout 2024. Let's see. The first time I actually started buying shares of SoFi was actually February 2nd, 2000, and then I was just buying all the way up. That was when I started buying SoFi. So I got 1,642 shares on my private account, and then I'm doing a public account challenge here on this YouTube channel, basically pretty much looking to take this sum of money here to 6 figures in the course of 17 months. If I deposit more money into this account, such as another $2,500, then it goes down to 16 months, etc. Why would I be depositing money into this account? Because the market is being stupid and people are losing their minds, and you buy the dip. If you're a long-time shareholder of a company and the stock price gets obliterated like we saw SoFi this week, you buy the dip and you pick up discounted shares. If you're a trader, because there are some positions on my account here that I am going to be doing a short-term trade and long-term trade, anywhere between less than 6 months and more than 6 months up to a year. You buy the dip, you buy the blood, you buy the fear, you sell the rip. It's a pretty basic terminology. You can go from tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands. But it requires you to be disciplined, and it requires you to have patience, and it also requires you to understand when you have a great management team. Now, this account here was primarily my pretty much very aggressive swing trading account. Pretty much Liberation Day last year, I was buying over $100,000 worth of stock, hard cash. I don't do margin trading. Don't believe in it. I honestly look at it as kind of like a credit card in a way, living outside of your means. I was accumulating SoFi shares during Liberation Day, and I chose not to really sell out of them. Every single stock you see on the screen here, I was buying right before Thanksgiving when the market was pretty much nosediving. And if you've been following me here for the last couple months, I've been saying that January is either going to be a rally or it's going to be pain. But I really was not expecting this much pain, because a couple months ago I was up on Robinhood by over 30%. I'm actually glad it sold off so I could add more shares. I was actually up by Adobe by 15%. Palantir was up by 20%. PayPal, I was actually up by 10%. Honest, I was up by 10%. SoFi, I was up over 100%. AMD, I was up over 20-30%. So therefore, morning water cheers, by the way. Hold on. Once again, if you're a long-term shareholder, I'm looking to hold SoFi and add bonus shares for the next decade. My private account, I'm done pretty much buying SoFi shares. I got a full position with bonus shares filled out. My entire full position was 1,500 shares. And a couple of you have asked me, do I own the same type of stock positions on my private account? The answer is yes. Just in very large, a lot bigger position sizes. That's pretty much about it. My private account is very similar to this account, just very, very much bigger numbers. That's pretty much about it. I tend to trade and invest in the same stock on different profiles. And if I ever do one of these profile challenges again, I'm definitely going to be probably doing another, probably creating a brand new Robinhood account, because Webull is a little annoying, especially when it gets to like the widgets and stuff. Robinhood is just very user-base friendly, which is one of the reasons I believe that Robinhood stock is going to be going to the upside this year drastically. But going back to SoFi, the shares that I have been accumulating of SoFi on this profile, because a couple months ago I was actually at 265 or 200. I got to look back on a couple videos ago. I've just been adding bonus shares because my vision for SoFi aligns with what Anthony Noto has stated. He has said that SoFi is going to be a banking giant, and the next 10 years they're going to be a $1 trillion company. Well, guess what? In the next 10 years, a $1 trillion company is going to be a diamond. It's actually, it's going to be nothing special. Okay. Probably in the next 5 years, $1 trillion companies are going to be a dime a dozen. In the next 10 years, since we are in a raging bull market, whether people want to really think about it and believe it or not, we are not in, like, if we do have a semi-recession, just because we're in a recession, we were in a recession in 2022. Textbook definition of a recession: 2 negative quarters of GDP. We had that in 2022. The Democrats just played it off entirely, okay? We did have a mini recession in 2022. It was there. Now, I'm a firm believer that we are coming out of a recession, which means we are in a rolling recession. A lot of people have stated this. If we are in a rolling recession and we're going to be coming out of a recession in 2026, that's when you're going to see stocks like SoFi take off drastically. You're going to see just growth stocks continue to explode. We're not seeing a deceleration of earnings like in 2022. That's why the stocks sold off, because their earnings were going down. We're seeing earnings go up. It's just, there's so much friggin' fear in the market right now because of CapEx, capital expenditures. So many of these companies are spending so much on AI. Google is doing $180 billion this year. Amazon is doing $200 billion. That's spooking the market. However, we are not at the bursting point of an AI bubble. Are we in an AI bubble? Oh, yes, we are. If you don't believe that we're in an AI bubble, there's something wrong with you. You gotta. The entire stock market is one big bubble. It grows, it bursts, and then it grows bigger. And then it bursts, and then it grows again. We are at the start of the bubble. The bubble is going to grow probably over the next decade, okay? And then there's probably going to be issues because around 2035, that's when Social Security is supposed to go bankrupt. You can't make this up. There is going to be another great recession coming. Typically, it happens every 27, 28 years. We started the first secular bull market after the Great Depression. That ended at the Great Inflation during the 70s. You got to know your history. We came out of the Great Inflation in the 80s. What did we have during the 90s? The Roaring 90s, okay? The Roaring 90s because of pretty much a lot of Reaganomics. And also, just people felt so good about the economy. I was born in 1988. Obviously, I grew up during the 90s. I didn't know any of this stuff, but I remember as a kid, so many people felt really good about the economy. So if we're coming out of a recession this year, people are going to feel good about the economy. People are going to feel good about the stock market, the housing market, precious metals. People are going to be happy. We could very well, for the next 10 years, have a roaring 2000s-ish and stuff like that. But there will be an end to this secular bull market. But it's not going to be this year or next year. It's going to be a while. So we are in an AI bubble, but it is at the beginning. Okay, it's not at the end. It is at the beginning. Going back to SoFi here. So this profile is just adding bonus shares. But what I really want to talk about is something that came out pretty much in the last 24 hours because I had a different video lined up for you all. So I don't really do this too often where I show like other YouTube videos and YouTube channels on here. But I'm going to go ahead and put this link down below on Future Investing, aka Tanner's YouTube channel. He's been around the block for a while. He's actually been covering SoFi much longer than when I got into it. This video is probably more than likely going to go very viral among the SoFi community. But pretty much, there was an exclusive interview with Anthony Noto, the man himself, SoFi CEO, along with Tevis, Tanner's a good friend here. Both of them have YouTube channels, obviously much bigger than my stock channel here. And it's pretty much a shell shocker to see the CEO of a company actually go on to like a YouTube channel. I don't believe Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos, a lot of really like the big, but SoFi's management team, along with Anthony Noto, they are aware that retail is a very big part of SoFi. And Tanner has been covering SoFi from the get-go, from the beginning, and he was buying SoFi when it pretty much IPO'd. I got into SoFi when it was beaten down, so very different. I understand that a lot of people out there did buy SoFi when it was at its previous all-time highs, back in the, I believe, like the high 20s and stuff. I think $28 was like the IPO all-time high. And it took like what, 3-something years to beat it. So there were people that bought SoFi at its old all-time high, and they've just been dollar cost averaging down. And then you have people like me that have now made tens and tens and tens of thousands of dollars of SoFi's profits. Obviously, I haven't sold my stock for realistical profits, but still, I mean, there will be a day where I sell out some SoFi shares, but my game plan really is for the next 10 years. Now, real quick about this interview, because there's a lot to be said, and I just want to go over some stuff. Anthony Noto has stated that they're going to start going after these bullshit analysts that are from their competitors. Bank of America, which is a bank, SoFi's competitor, because SoFi is a all-in-one shop, and it is a disruptor, and it is something that Bank of America cannot replicate. they give SoFi a sell rating. If you don't see the corruption there, you are high on something. Something you are high on. Definitely you are not high on water because you're not sober. You are a manipulative a-hole. Hold on. You are manipulating your competitor's stock. So Anthony Noto has stated that they're going to push back against all these BS ratings that are going to be coming out. And he's also stated that these people, these analysts, are using the wrong metric to really price SoFi. Anthony Noto has stated that SoFi should really be priced at 40 times I believe he said, oh boy, 40 times their EPS. So that would put the stock price in very much the mid to high 20s. And he's also talked about how the stock right now is undervalued and how he would be buying shares, but pretty much they're in a kind of like of a weird window. You guys got to remember that. A lot of these CEOs and executives, when they are in a blackout period, they're not allowed to buy shares. It's very unfortunate. But Anthony Noto was buying shares back in 2024 when it was below $7. And I remember that I was buying a lot of shares as well too. He does put his money where his mouth is. Another thing he has stated in this interview, besides pushing back, the stock is undervalued, is he's pretty much just reiterating their game plan. Their game plan has not changed. And he's also said as well that they are operating and growing in a previous high interest rate environment. That should be a wake-up call to anyone that is getting nervous about if they should like leave SoFi or what. And once again, I'm not a financial advisor. You do you. I'm just a retail trader here that has made life-changing money in the last 5-6 years in the stock market. And my ideology is very simple. You find great management teams like SoFi's and you basically just work hard, you build wealth, you buy shares when the stock sells off because of nonsense. That is your chance to either build, accumulate, add bonus shares, dollar cost average down. It's a very simple process, okay? But he stated that if they are reaching a Fed that's gonna be lowering rates, like their whole entire business model is gonna be going to the upside. The last thing I'll say about this interview, highly recommend any SoFi shareholder to watch this. He stated that they went ahead and said that they are going to put up 35% growth rates for the first quarter of this year. And it would be heartbreaking if that was the highest percent of growth rates they had throughout 2026. What does that mean? That means that, yes, they are in a way sandbagging. And I'm almost positive he actually did use the word sandbagging in a way. Every great CEO does it. Even Lisa Su of AMD, she's a sandbagger. Sandbagging is this. We expect the company to grow by 30%, but secretly, you know the company is going to be 35%, 40%, maybe 45%. He said that it would be a shame if the company only grew by 35% for the first quarter and then something like 30% Q2, etc. So he didn't say 30% Q2. I'm just like giving you what it means pretty much. That signals to me that they're going to be doing 35 for the first quarter, and then maybe the second quarter they could do 38 or maybe 40, maybe even higher. The company is friggin' growing. So you got to keep that in mind. Now, this week is going to be a roller coaster, pretty much like I said. And the reason it's going to be a roller coaster is because we got a lot of data that could very much reverse a lot of this stuff that has been in the economy. So right now, the chances of a rate cut, it's actually gone up a little bit. The chances of a rate cut in 39 days to the Federal Reserve next meeting is 23.2%. This could change in a blink of an eye, snap of your fingers, okay? So, what is going to be happening this week with data? As long as we don't get really bad data, okay? Because the whole reason the stock market went down this week is because of job data and performance. Pretty much we lost a lot of jobs, and it's a clear sign that the labor market is really hurting. So this week we have some Fed governors talking. What do we have? Tuesday, Taco Tuesday. Gotta love Taco Tuesday. This could very well maybe move the market a little bit, but unemployment on Wednesday, this is going to be huge, okay? Very, very huge. Now, the Trump administration has stated the reason why unemployment could be going up is because they're laying off a lot of government employees. However, the data suggests the opposite because it's showing that, hey, a lot of big companies are not really hiring new people because AI is taking jobs. If you ever seen South Park many, many years ago about illegal immigrants coming into America, they took our jobs. Yeah, well, AI is definitely taking people's jobs. It's a real thing, okay? AI is going to continue to take jobs. If you don't believe that is happening, you got to have a reality check, okay? It's very sad. AI is going to take people's jobs, okay? It's gonna cause a lot of data, such as unemployment, to very well tick higher. What's gonna make the Federal Reserve print more money and lower rates? Thursday, initial jobless claims. This could be big. And then Friday, we have CPI. As long as this data is not really affected, because obviously the government partial little shutdown that the little government shutdown that basically pretty much happened should hopefully not really be affecting like these types of data, but it very well could. But overall, the market for the next week and follow-on weeks, and especially probably up until maybe April, kind of ironic because we're maybe experiencing Liberation Day 2.0 or not really Liberation Day 2.0. Maybe it's 2025 2.0 once again. We could very well experience pain all the way into next earnings seasons, which is going to be around April, which is just really whatever. So what can really happen with SoFi here? Well, on a technical analysis basis, we could very well go back down to 18 bucks. If we go down to 18 bucks, I'm going to be adding more shares because every time that SoFi goes down 10%, I'm going to be adding more shares. And you want to know what? If we get really friggin' stupid here, and if we go even lower down to maybe like 16, I'll be adding shares down here. And then as we go back up to recover, which we will, I'll be adding more bonus shares here too. Maybe on this public account here, I could very well be at the end of the year maybe close to 500 friggin' bonus shares. It's unbelievable. It really is. But hey, if Wall Street wants to be stupid, then let them. Oh wow, we got earnings actually beginning of May here. Ooh boy. So we very well could be experiencing a very big drawdown in a lot of these stocks up until next earnings. Obviously, we got Hood next week, which is going to be really good. And we could be experiencing pain all the way up until the new Fed governor. Okay? Once again, not a financial advisor. For all I know, we could very well have a reversal. Probably maybe next month, there's going to be some new interviews that are going to be happening with the new Fed governor. And maybe the new Fed governor is going to be giving us really bullish answers. So we really got to wait and see. But as for SoFi here, definitely check out the interview by Anthony Noto. It's a great 50-something minutes. It goes by really quick. Tanner and Tevis does an amazing job interviewing him. So, as always, if you enjoy my content, definitely smash the like button, subscribe for more. Check out my social media links down below. Let me know what you think about me in the comment section. If you think I'm batshit crazy, or if you think that I'm a very well-rounded investor and also trader. Love you all. New video on Monday, and later.